How's everybody doing? And welcome to SSN, or as we affectionately refer to this channel around here as the Sergeant Saunders Network. I'm back after a long hiatus. Steve Dallas here. I will be your host as we venture forward with the Sergeant Saunders Hour. Now, without further ado, hop in, buckle up, and let's get ready to roll. Good morning. How's everybody doing today? It's an exciting day. Today is the 23rd day of the trial. It's the 26th of May. Basically, this is Depp versus Heard, day 23. This is going to be video episode 3006. This is Amber's Last Stand. And this is basically everything's in one video. Normally, I've been breaking it up if they're long by direct, cross, and redirect, sometimes putting the cross and the redirect together if they're short enough. This one, I put everything together. Probably could have, made it two because it's about 40 something minutes long. But I decided to just do it in one shot because I think this is a really important one. And basically, as we go forward, we're going to look at the lawyer. So today, we're going to have Mr. Rottenborn. He's going to be direct and redirect, and he's for Amber. And then we're going to have Camille. She's for Johnny, and she's going to be the cross and the objections that you're going to hear in the first part. And basically, I just want to, I already watched this because then I break them down into smaller videos, every witness that's called. So, I did go through it once, and I picked up a point, which I'm going to point out to all of you on the stand, where she just basically admitted, that she lied. She basically says at one point, admits that she wrote the op-ed, which she's been denying, she made it sound like it was the whole thing. And she was going back and forth with Camille, which you're going to see. I'm going to point out the spot. I don't think Camille picked it up. It didn't seem like anybody else picked it up around her. So it's something to watch. You may want to go back and watch it. The other thing I noticed when I watched it the first time through, if you look at, this is my right side, I'm holding it up. This is my right eye, right? So when she's facing us, when you're looking at TV, it's going to be your left. So I want you to look at her right eye, which will be on your, left hand when she's looking back at you. And if you look at this area of her cheek, she's on the stand now, and that area looks like it's puffy. So, and that's the consistent area where she keeps saying she got hit in all the pictures. And I'm wondering if anybody else picked that up. And like I said, it looks puffy, definitely puffy. So let's bring up the video and let's jump right in. So again, this is the cross. And one of the things I strategy, everybody's different, but why wouldn't they just end after they refuted all the testimony? Instead, they're bringing her back.
Next witness.
And I think you're opening the door.
Your Honor, defendant calls Amber Heard.
If she goes broad brush when she's talking, it's going to open the door for them to counter a lot of stuff, and they have more time. So I don't know if this is a good strategy. And plus, you're going to leave. She's not well liked. You're going to leave her impression. I have why, not why did she just run off? She forgot her water bottle. But I have why, and the point is, why would you put her on the stand? And what do you think? Is it a good strategy or not? Personally, I think it's because Johnny went up, and also because they say she has been.
Ma'am, just remind her you're still under oath, okay?
But she's been looking at social media, and they were making fun of her snickering.
Amber, just to orient you and the jury, at this time, we're in the rebuttal to your counterclaim against Mr. Depp. So I'm going to.
So Rottenborn is trying to make a narrow field. He's trying to tell her.
How have you suffered publicly as a result of the Depp-Waldman statements?
Objection, speculation.
She didn't even say anything.
I am harassed, humiliated, threatened every single day.
Well, you brought that upon yourself.
Even just walking into this courtroom, sitting here in front of the world, having the worst parts of my life, things I've lived through, used to humiliate me. People want to kill me.
Shouldn't have aired out your dirty laundry in public.
Every day. People want to put my baby in the microwave.
Nobody should do
that. They tell me that.
I may not like her, but that's too strong.
Johnny,
I shouldn't do things like that.
Threatened, promised, promised me that
That's
if I ever
not
left
true.
him,
They got
he'd
the
make
audio.
me think
on
of
that.
him
He didn't want to do this.
every single day that I lived.
Objection, Your Honor, non-responsive.
She's right. She's not following the
Sustain
scope
the
of the
objection
question.
if you want to
And
ask
the
the
judge
question.
just sustained that.
Abuser and Amber Turd first appeared in 2016, correct?
There's Dennison reminding us about Amber Turd, and I
Amber,
guess that's one of the things she's upset about.
How did Mr.
Justice for
Depp's
Johnny, Amber Turd.
statements and threats to you that you were discussing, how do those continue to manifest themselves today?
In the harassment and the humiliation, the campaign against me that's echoed every single day on social media and now
It's the world,
in front
baby.
of
You live in.
cameras in this room.
Your generation, man.
Every single day I have to relive the trauma. My hands shake. I wake up
Did it to
screaming.
yourself. You shot yourself in the
I have to
foot.
live with the trauma and the damage done to me.
Justice for Johnny.
My
The moral of the
friends have to
story
live
is
with
don't
a set
lie.
of unspoken rules
I
about
don't
how
think you
to
have any.
not
friends.
scare me.
Objection, hearsay.
Yes, sir.
Scare you.
Unspoken rules
She picked up
I'm
right where
just
she left off. This is rehearsed.
about how
This
to
is a
not
speech.
touch me, not to surprise me.
Actress. She rehearsed her
My
lines.
intimate partners have rules about how they can deal with me, how they can touch me. I have rules for doctors and medical professionals I see, gynecologists I see.
You probably read this somewhere.
I live
about,
my
you know,
life
how
with these
victims
sets
are.
of rules that I have to follow. My friends have
Not
to
very
follow for me
believable.
not
She's
to
not a very
have
good
a
actress.
panic
You have to
attack or
follow
a
these
triggering
rules,
event
right? Wouldn't you, like,
where I relive the
better,
trauma.
man. You-
Even if I'm training to do
Terrible
a
actress.
movie, for instance, if I'm training for Aquaman, a combat scene, and a trigger happens, I have a
Trigger, oh,
meltdown
wow.
and have to deal with that. The crew I work with have to deal with that because of the damage I walk around with every single day.
Did it to yourself.
From what I've lived through, from what I've survived, I'm not sitting in this courtroom snickering.
No, you were yesterday.
Say hello to Snickerdoodles.
I'm not sitting in this courtroom laughing, smiling, and making snide jokes. I'm not. This is horrible. This is painful.
You made your bed
This is humiliating for any human
with some
being
pieces in it too, but you
to
made
go
your bed.
through. And perhaps it's easy to forget that, but I'm a human being. And even though Johnny promised that I deserve this and promised he'd do this, I don't deserve this. I want to move on.
You
The statements
threatened him. You said, Johnny, tell
The
the
taxing
world.
me to
We'll see what the
campaign.
jury and the judge says.
that Johnny has elicited millions of people to do on his behalf when he himself
Objection, Your Honor,
couldn't
lack
do
of
it.
foundation.
Torture me every day.
Speculation.
I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
She was all over the place.
Amber, how have the Depp Waldman statements impacted your ability to do charitable work?
Charitable work. She stole from the kids. She didn't give
You
what
know-
she told them she was going to give them.
The only reason that people like Dr. Curry can sit up here on the stand and say I'm high
attacking
functioning and I
Dr.
do
Curry.
things like have hobbies,
Sommelier
interest.
training. That's we all run
Objection,
Because
out.
I'm not-
non-responsive.
Your Honor, Mr. Depp gave long-winded
Look at
responses.
that look.
Real good.
There's the bruise. When she turned her head, there's the bruise.
it's because I found a solution to that pain.
And the trial is
I
a
woke
madhouse,
up every
'cause the
morning
judges are just all over the
with
place.
panic
They just do what
attacks
they want.
and trauma until I realized I could do something with it. So to answer your question, Ben,
Oh, Ben. Now it's
I
Ben.
was able to turn the things that I've
rock.
lived through, my pain, my life experiences, into work, into action, into providing a voice for other people. I'm not a saint. I'm not trying to present myself as one, as you all know, but I selfishly found relief in being able to use what I've lived through to advocate for others,
You
to
advocated.
bring
right?
light to these issues, to give a
You
voice to
lied,
people who don't have the
advocated
voice
for
and the
liars.
platform that I have. And while I would not wish this situation on my worst enemy, if it gives a voice to someone who doesn't have it. But I now, as I stand here today, can't have a career. I can't even have people associate with me because of the threats and the attacks that they have to endure.
Objection,
when they are.
non-responsive.
And I can't do my charity work.
Sustain the
And your choice for favorite movie actor is Johnny Depp.
objection.
Yeah, Johnny won.
Amber, other than the threats that you've described, what other threats have you endured since the Depp Waldman statements were made?
I receive hundreds of death threats
I don't believe that.
regularly, if not daily.
I didn't even know who you were,
Thousands
lady.
since
I'm
this
sure
trial
most of us
has
did. Thousands.
started people
now.
mocking.
Well, mocking you because you're lying. Look, she's fake crying. Your
my
acting
testimony
coach
about
said you
being
couldn't cry.
assaulted. Making fun of my...
Objection relevance.
Funny, you
Non-responsive.
lied. What do you
Hold on.
expect? You drew us all in because you lied. You're a
You can
liar.
continue.
You bore that
been
false witness, and we're going to see what the man
agonizing.
above thinks about it.
Agonizing, painful,
When the
the most
jury ruled,
humiliating thing I've ever had to go through.
thou
I hope
shalt
no one
not
ever
lie.
has to go through something like this.
Thou shalt not bear false witness.
Johnny, what can you make out of this?
This? Well, I can make a cap, put a brooch, a pterodactyl.
What do you think of your testimony, Amber?
I just want Johnny to leave me alone. I just want him
It's
to
almost
leave
like
me
she's
alone.
laughing. That's terrible acting.
I've said that
Look at him. He's just
for
like, I
years
didn't
now,
even want to talk to
and I
him.
thought he would after
Objection
2020.
non-responsive.
If you
All right,
wanted to
let's
leave him
sustain
alone,
objection.
why'd
Next
you write the
question.
article about him? He's just like, I've had enough of this.
What do you hope to reclaim
He's
after
done.
this is over?
Protecting the secret that I did for as long as I did has taken enough of my voice. Johnny has taken enough of my voice
Stick it in
I
and
have the
turn
right
it. That's what she's doing to Johnny.
to tell my story. I have the
Bruce,
right
and
to
you're
say
gonna
what
bash
happened
the
to me. I
man
have the
now.
right to my voice and my name.
I've always wanted to be Captain USA.
He took it long enough. I have a right as an American
Now you want to be an
to
American. Now
talk
you want to
about
have
what
rights.
happened to me, to own my story and my truth. I have that right.
It's not freedom of speech what you did.
I hope to get my voice back. It's all I want. And I've said that from day one.
Yeah. And $100 million.
Thank you, Amber.
Oh, they arrested. Wow. It's going to be interesting to see what happens now. And the award goes to Amber Heard, the Golden Turd Award. And thank you for
have
stopping
anything
your
else.
All right,
speaking because my ears
cross-examination.
were starting to bleed. She's very annoying to listen to. All right, so I think on this part, what I did was
Yes.
this was probably like 20 or 30 minute 25 30 minute objection, or not real objection, they approached. And Camille went up there with a whole notebook, which you're going to see in a second. There's the applause. It's over. We don't have to listen to it for a few more minutes. Here's the break. So anyway, Camille's up there. You see the binder. She's going over what she can, I guess, attack her on. Basically, you saw Rottenborn was trying to keep her in that narrow, just talk about these three things, the three statements, and close with that. And she kind of went off script, or really she stuck to her script, not the lawyer script. And basically she left the door open. Now they can bring up stuff. And I think they probably had a plan to bring up stuff if she took the stand again, because they have more time than Amber's team. They both agreed upon the time. They started with 60 hours each. And I think the Amber's team's almost out. So as of yesterday, it was like 14 hours to 8 hours. I think I have the breakdown somewhere. I'll put it up later. But I think it's a good strategy. She's making sure what she can go into, what she can't, and actually this way she don't have to have objections. So she's getting her stuff together, but I think she's going to come in hot. She is going to lambaste her. I think this was a bad idea putting her up on the stand. I don't understand that. I just, listen, I'm just Monday morning quarterbacking it. But I don't know. What do you guys think? You're watching it. See what you think. I think, I've been making fun of Rottenborn because I just don't like his demeanor, but I think. I think on their team, Amber's team, I think he is the smartest lawyer and the best lawyer in that group. Elaine, just not likable for the jury. And Elaine messes a lot of stuff up. So who knows? But I did look over her facts about her, and she's been around a long time. She's done a lot of things, but I don't know. It's funny too. In my last video, if you saw it, I spoke about how each one of them picked people that are like that. Harper Bomb is about to begin. They are going to dismantle their story. The bomb. That's what's going to happen. At the end of this, I have nothing left. Here we go. Look, you see the cheek right from here, and they're zooming in. Puffy. Right here. Johnny probably did it to her, she's going to say, from the other room.
Ms. Heard, you just testified that this case has been very
Look at
hard
that.
for you.
Zoomed right in.
There's only one thing left to say. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
So let's talk about that and why.
All right.
Your lies have been exposed to the world multiple times, right?
Yes, they have.
I haven't lied about anything I've been here to say.
Wow.
The truth shall set you free!
You sat here and told this jury that the events in Hicksville started with Mr. Depp getting really upset about a woman leaning on you. Is that correct?
Yes, that's effectively what happened, yeah.
You testified that he actually grabbed that woman's wrist and twisted it, right?
And told her that he could effectively break her wrist by saying he knew how many pounds of pressure, or asking her how many pounds of pressure it took
The
to
things
break
she
her
remembers
wrist.
in her testimony,
But
like
your
stuff
own
like that, but she doesn't
witness,
remember
your former
facts like
best
how
friend, Rocky
traumatic
Pennington,
injuries
she didn't corroborate that, did she?
I'm not quite sure what part of that night
Rocky's
she
not really
saw.
her friend anymore,
There were a lot
really.
of people there.
He taught me, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
She didn't testify that Mr. Depp grabbed anyone's wrist in Hicksville.
Again, I don't know what Rocky saw. There were a lot of people there that night.
You testified that once you brought Mr. Depp back to your trailer, he trashed it, correct?
That is correct.
And the manager of the Hicksville trailer park was furious that Johnny had wrecked the whole thing. Do you remember that testimony?
In the
That's
front row there.
correct.
Well, we heard from that manager of the Hicksville trailer park, Morgan Knight, on Monday, didn't we?
I'm not quite sure who that guy was or if he had any involvement in this. I know a lot of people have come out of the woodwork to be involved.
So you're accusing Mr. Knight of testifying and committing perjury?
I'm not accusing anyone. I just don't recognize that man.
Started early today.
You heard
I'm
Mr.
sorry,
Knight
got my
testify that it was
coffee
actually
this
you who was upset with Mr. Depp spending time away from him. Isn't that correct?
How would he know? He wasn't there.
Whoa, how would he know?
You heard Mr. Knight testify that it was actually you who was yelling at Mr. Depp.
Coming out of the
Again,
woodwork.
I've heard a lot of people say a lot of things to be involved in the Johnny Depp show, but
Ooh, Johnny
he wasn't
Depp
there.
show.
I know who I am. I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
He doesn't know. And he certainly doesn't know what happened behind closed doors, like most people.
So you're calling Mr. Knight a liar?
I am saying he wasn't there, and what he testified to doesn't match what
All these
I know
witnesses are
happened.
lying.
But I don't fault
only her
him. He
side
wasn't
has
there,
the
so how
truth.
would he know?
He testified he was there, Ms. Heard. Did you hear that?
That's his testimony, yes.
So you're calling him a liar.
I'm just saying he wasn't there.
You heard Mr. Knight testify that the trailer wasn't trashed, and that's why you're calling him a liar.
He testified that a light fixture was broken, similar to the way that
Yes,
Johnny's
other than a light
employees
fixture. That was
testified
the
to
only
my
thing that was
closet
broken,
being
right? Ms.
rearranged
Heard?
and things
Ms.
like
Heard?
that.
Trying to talk over.
The only thing that was broken in the trailer, according to Mr. Knight, was a light fixture. Yes or no?
I realized that he summed it up by saying a light fixture was broken, just the way his security guard summed up him trashing my closet as being rearranged.
Your Honor, I'm going to move to strike everything after he summed it up that it was a light fixture.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth!
Yeah,
As
go
non-responsive.
get it, Camille.
Answer the question, Your Honor.
Overruled.
In the security guard testimony, Your Honor?
I'll allow it. Go ahead.
Mr. Knight also testified that he charged Mr. Depp only $62 for the damaged light fixture. You heard that, correct?
I did.
In Hicksville, you were the only
Nasty
one that was
look she's
jealous that
throwing.
Mr.
Look
Depp
at
was
that.
spending time from other people. Isn't that correct, Ms. Heard?
That is incorrect.
In Hicksville, you were the one who was upset that Mr. Depp wasn't giving you enough attention.
Incorrect again.
Ms. Heard, you told this jury that you had no idea the press was going to be at the courthouse when you got your TRO on May 27th, 2016. Do you remember that testimony?
I said I did not have anything to do with it. Yes.
Liar.
Basically, I didn't want him to find out online that I had or was about to file, or I had already filed for divorce. I wanted him to know verbally. So I was trying to reach him through a third party to tell him. When I say reach, I'm specifically saying I would like him to know information coming from me or coming from Jerry, from me, so that he finds out about the divorce filing or my intention to do so from some other source other than TMZ, which was alerted.
Wow. That was from one of my other videos.
You slipped
That's
up
why
there,
hear my
didn't you,
voice
Ms.
in the
Heard?
background.
No. My question again. You told this jury that you had no idea that the press was going to be outside after you got the ex-party TRO on May 27th, 2016. Do you remember that testimony?
I apologize. I must have misunderstood Ms. Vasquez. I actually had no idea whether they were going to be there or not. When I walked into the courtroom that day, it was completely quiet, still, empty. Even though I had given Johnny's team notice that I was filing the
Objection.
TRO,
Your Honor, this is not
we had no
responsive.
reason to
Move
believe
to
that the
strike.
press knew.
And Your Honor, I would also ask that you instruct the witness to please stop talking once I lodge an objection.
He was
Your Honor, she's
arguing
trying
with
to
the
answer the question as
judge,
best she
taking
can,
a
and Ms.
point
Vasquez
right to the
is
jury.
misrepresenting to her what she testified to.
Well, I'll strike the last part as non-responsive. Just if you could just answer the questions asked. Okay, thank you, Ms. Heard.
Oh, she got slapped in the wrist.
In fact, you testified that you were, quote, shocked when you saw press when you were leaving the courthouse. Yes?
Yes.
You weren't shocked at all, though, were you?
Incorrect. It was
You knew the press
horrifying.
would be at the courthouse, right, Ms. Heard?
No.
She craves attention.
Well, you did bring your publicist to the courthouse with you on May 27th, 2016, didn't you?
I sure did. I'm a public figure. I brought my publicist in case it blew up. Wow. In case. And
You actually
I'm glad
had
I did.
alerted TMZ that you would be filing a TRO against Mr. Depp that very day,
No, I did
didn't
not.
you?
No, I did
The
not.
one day you didn't bother to wear makeup to cover up the mark on your face.
She's got the
I
mark on her
did not
face
call
now.
TMZ or any other news source or paparazzi source. No one.
Well,
I
we
never
heard
did that.
testimony from former TMZ employee Morgan Tremaine yesterday, correct?
Did I hear his testimony?
Yes.
Yes, I was here.
Yes. And you heard Mr. Tremaine's testimony that he knew to dispatch the paparazzi to the courthouse on May 27th, right?
I heard him say that he knew that, yes.
Yeah, and
This movie called Liar Liar, and the message was don't lie. And that was a smart movie.
that he dispatched paparazzi to the courthouse to capture a picture of an alleged bruise on the right side of your face. Do you remember him saying that?
I remember him saying that.
It's right there. She's got
That
it there.
information must have come from your team, right, Ms. Heard?
Absolutely not. Why would I want that? What actual survivor of domestic violence wants that?
What a
Now, the
liar.
video of Mr. Depp beating up some kitchen cabinets, you admit that you took that video, correct?
Yes, I did.
Right. And you acknowledge that the video was released online the day before you were deposed in connection with your divorce from Mr. Depp in August of 2016, right?
I believe it was, yes.
But you testified that you had absolutely nothing to do with the video's release, right?
Absolutely not.
And you testified that you learned about it when you landed after flying into LA. Do you remember that testimony?
Upon touchdown is when I was alerted to the video's
You
existence
heard Mr.
online.
Tremaine testify about this video
lies.
as well yesterday, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
And you heard Mr. Tremaine testify that TMZ received the cabinet video the same day you landed at LAX. Yes?
I don't know if I don't know if that's what his testimony was. And so
You heard Mr. Tremaine testify that the cabinet video was posted 15 minutes after TMZ received it. Yes?
that's what I heard him say.
And that this could only have been possible if the video was received directly from the source.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Yes?
I heard him say that. I don't know if that's true or if that's possible because
And
it
you
didn't
heard
come from me. I was
Mr.
flying.
Tremaine
So
testify.
I know that's incorrect is what I mean to say.
Another liar on the stand.
I just know that that's incorrect.
Right. And you heard Mr. Tremaine testify that TMZ owns the copyright to the cabinet video, right?
That's news to me.
The cabinet video you filmed of your then husband. Yes?
The copyright ownership of that.
I'm going to go
is
back a little, so I want you to hear that.
After flying into LA. Do you remember that testimony?
Upon touchdown is when I was alerted to the video's
You
existence
heard Mr.
online.
Tremaine testify that about this video as well yesterday, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
And you heard Mr. Tremaine testify that TMZ received the cabinet video the same day you landed at LAX. Yes?
I don't know if I don't know if that's what his testimony was. I'm sorry.
You heard Mr. Tremaine testify that the cabinet video was posted 15 minutes after TMZ received it. Yes?
That's what I heard him say.
And that this could only have been possible if the video was received directly from the source.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Yes?
I heard him say that. I don't know if that's true or if that's possible because
And
it
you
didn't come
heard
from me. I was
Mr.
flying.
Tremaine
So
testify.
I know that's incorrect is what I mean to say.
Another liar on the stand.
I just know that that's incorrect.
Right. And you heard Mr. Tremaine testify that TMZ owns the copyright to the cabinet video, right?
That's news to me.
The cabinet video you filmed of your then husband. Yes?
The copyright ownership of that is news to me. I learned that yesterday.
It's the cabinet video that you captured of your then husband. Yes?
That is correct. I did capture that video, and
The
yes,
cabinet
that was
video-
my husband.
The same cabinet video that was released the night before you were deposed in your divorce. Yes?
That's correct.
Okay. You must have also heard Mr. Tremaine testify that the version of the cabinet video that TMZ received was incomplete compared to the video the jury saw in this trial. Did you hear that?
The video that that you have seen is complete.
Right. But the one TMZ got the day before your deposition in the divorce was incomplete.
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
He testified that at the beginning portion of the video where you set up the camera, that wasn't included in the video that TMZ received.
I don't know what video TMZ
I'm talking
received.
about Mr. Tremaine's testimony, Ms. Heard. Let's just
So you're
focus on
asking
Mr.
me to
Tremaine.
repeat his testimony?
No, I'm asking you if you recall hearing him say those words to this jury.
Yes,
Under
I
oath.
heard his testimony. We all did.
And he testified that the end of the video where you can be seen smirking. I know you testified earlier that you haven't been smirking in this trial, but you sure were caught on camera smirking in that video.
I disagree with that.
Was also not included in the TMZ video.
Everyone can watch that video and you can determine whether you think it's funny to me or not.
That's
How
because
can
the
they
video
watch it
came
if they're
from
on the
you,
jury?
right, Ms. Heard?
No, it did not.
You
That
edited
video
out
did
the
not
portions.
come to me.
Ms.
I mean, come
Heard,
from me.
Ms. Heard, you edited out the portions that made you look bad before sending it to TMZ.
You're very wrong about that.
So
If
that
I
only
wanted to
Mr.
leak
Depp
information, I
looked
could have
bad.
done it in a more effective way, a lot sooner and a lot more.
Because you
I
knew
was
exactly
living
how to
with
do
a
that,
mountain
right?
of this evidence. If I wanted to leak it, I could have done a lot more with it.
I thought you testified earlier in this trial that you didn't know how to leak things.
I
Remember
don't.
that?
Just going to get it right now.
You edited that video before you gave it to TMZ so that only Mr. Depp would look bad. Yes?
That's absurd.
Right in the middle of your divorce proceedings.
Again, you're very wrong.
Did you order the code red?
I did the job. Did you order the code red?
I'd like to show you a picture that's already admitted into evidence. It's Defendant's Exhibit 799.
She got busted. She lied. She lies.
This is you at the courthouse on May 27th, 2016, when you got your domestic violence restraining order against Mr. Depp, right?
Look at her eye. It's blown up.
It is.
And next to you is a woman named Jody Gottlieb, right?
Yes.
Jody Gottlieb is your publicist.
And dear friend.
Now I'd like to show you what's been marked as Plaintiff's Exhibit 1316. This is a picture of you and your friend Rocky Pennington, right?
That is correct.
Your Honor, I'd like to move to admit this photograph.
Any objection to 1316?
No, Your Honor.
All right, 1316 in evidence. You can publish to the jury.
This is a picture of you on May 28th, 2016, right, Ms. Heard?
No bruise. The day after. Gotcha.
I don't know when this was taken.
This is the day after you obtained the domestic violence restraining order against Mr. Depp, right?
Wow.
I have no idea when this image was taken. I did not take it.
There's no bruise on your face in this picture, is there?
Again, I don't know when this was taken, and also I'm outside. I was obviously wearing makeup. I have no idea when this was taken, so I have no idea if I can
Let's
speak to
refresh your
what
recollection.
bruise you can see
Let's
or not.
refresh your recollection about when this picture was taken. Can we please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1315, just for the witness? This is an article dated May 30th, 2016, right, Ms. Heard?
That's what it says, yes.
And this article contains the same photograph of you and Miss Pennington we were just looking at, yes?
Yes, I see that.
And the article is entitled, Amber Heard Smiles as She Puts Arm Around Friend One Day After Getting Restraining Order Against Johnny Depp. Is that what the title says?
Well, paparazzi.
I know that's what the title says, yes.
Your Honor,
They
I'm
wrote
going to
an
move to
article about
admit and publish the article with everything but the headline and date
Busted.
and the
Day
photo
after.
redacted.
Busted.
Objection, Your Honor. That's inconsistent from the way we've treated all of these.
I'll sustain the objection. All right, next question.
Let's take a look at picture Plaintiff's Exhibit 1317. This is also a picture of you and Miss Pennington on May 28th, 2016, isn't it?
I don't know when this photo was taken, but it looks like the same outing as the picture prior.
Your Honor, I'm going to move to admit and publish Plaintiff's Exhibit 1317.
Any objection?
No, Your
All
Honor.
right, 1317 in evidence, you can publish.
There's no bruise on your face in this picture either, right?
I disagree. If it is
Wow.
taken when you represent it was taken, then obviously there's a bruise on my face. It's covered by makeup, as per usual.
It's obvious he's not wearing makeup.
Let's zoom out of that picture for a
Got
moment,
slapped by
please.
Camille.
Thanks, Tom.
Camille,
That's
prove
Josh
she
Drew in
got
this picture,
makeup
right?
on. There is no bruise
Yes,
there.
that's correct.
And Miss Pennington
That is correct.
She got
in there
slapped.
too. Ms.
That is
Pennington submitted a sworn statement on your behalf in support of your domestic violence restraining order, didn't she?
Well, her friends lied.
I believe she did, yes.
Mr. Drew also submitted a statement in support of your domestic violence
She's
restraining
pointing out
order.
that they lied.
I believe they both did, yes.
Wow.
Ms. Heard, I'd like to show you Defendant's Exhibit 512, which is already in evidence.
Wow. She's a liar, man.
You've seen this photograph
Chameleon.
before, right?
I have.
On the second day of your direct testimony, you testified that this was taken in the downstairs of the main apartment on December 15th, 2015. Do you recall that testimony?
Yes, I believe so.
So it's your testimony that Defendant's Exhibit 512 reflects damage to Penthouse 5 that occurred during the December 15th, 2015 incident. Yes?
I'm not quite sure from what incident this is when I see this photo in a vacuum without context.
Let's give you that context. Can we please?
We're gonna, at the end, I'm going to talk
can have
about
day
that, the
16 try to
metadata and
testify.
the context, why that's a big role, and why she's actually, by doing that, admitting that she lied. She refused to turn over
All right.
the original pictures. You know, they gave copies of the pictures to Depp's side. So they wanted the source to see if they were changed, you know, Photoshop. And she refused to do that. So what happened was, we can talk now, there's a little sidebar. But anyway, so it's
Could you
interesting.
please turn first to page
Whenever they bring up a picture, first thing she looks at is, well,
4585?
where's the metadata? She wants to see that. So why would you look for that? You just look at the picture and see, you know, in the context of the picture. So, you know, she's admitting that she knows that things can be Photoshopped. That a piece of work. I don't know what happened to that dude, man. That guy
Specifically
just-
on starting
private
on
life
line
that he
16,
lives. Hard to meet people he
where
meets
it
her,
says,
man. All
let's
the people
talk
he could
about
have met.
December 15th, 2015.
Terrible.
You
what she
said
did to him.
4585. I'm on 4485. Sorry, you said 4585.
4585.
Pardon.
Line 16.
Fired. She can't follow directions. I'd fire her from the movie. Terrible actress. She can't even sell this. Somebody will hire her, though. She'll get work. Probably be a commercial lady or voiceover work.
Line
Make a lot of
16, where
money
it says,
doing that.
let's talk about December 15th, 2015. Do you see that?
Yes.
And then do you see that your testimony about December 15th, 2015 follows?
Let's see. It's just the first line or two.
So what they're bringing up with this picture, the two pictures, is the pictures were submitted with different dates on them. The same picture, different dates on them. One was a lot earlier than Camille's going to say the dates. I don't recall the dates, but it was submitted in evidence like that, which means that they had the picture already pre-staged.
Yes.
Okay.
At a different date.
Now I'd like you to turn to page 4603.
From that last time. You know, they may have taken it.
Starting
Either
at
way,
line 12.
she's a liar.
4603. Starting at line 12 and going on to page 4604, line 4.
Okay.
And do you see that you testify that defendant's exhibit 512, which is on the screen,
Yes,
is a picture of the downstairs of the main apartment?
that's correct.
And the main apartment is penthouse 5 in the Eastern Columbia building, right?
No, well, depends on what, the main apartment's penthouse 3 generally when we say main apartment.
Penthouse 5 was where you had your closet?
The guy gave all his houses
The
to her and
downstairs
her
is kind
friend.
of like had some of my painting studio set up and a reception area. Upstairs was the closet. Mezzanine office was in between.
All right, so it's your testimony that defendant's exhibit 512 reflects damage to the penthouse 5, that occurred during the December 15th, 2015 incident, right?
I'm just not sure from which incident this is a picture of, since I'm only looking at
Even
a
though your
partial
counsel
floor.
was asking you questions about December 15th, 2015, and
Our
then admitted
counsel
this,
submitted those photos.
this
That's from
picture
her.
into evidence
Again,
in
in my
relation to that incident.
Sorry, go ahead. What
In
was-
relation to that incident on December 15th, 2015. This exhibit, defendant's exhibit, you are the defendant, number 512, was admitted into evidence in this court. You testified that this was the result of damage that occurred on December 15th, 2015. Yes or no?
I just need to orient myself because I'm just looking at a picture of a partial
No,
picture of a
Ms. Hurd,
floor.
you didn't just
So
look
I
at a
can't.
picture. You looked at your testimony.
You pointed me towards the page and then asked me a question. I haven't actually reviewed it. I don't know if this was submitted in relation to that incident.
Let's actually leave up defendant's 512 and please pull up defendant's exhibit
Actually get away with that.
725, which is already in evidence
Thank you.
in redacted form, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You can pause.
Terrible.
Side by side. You've seen this photograph as well, right?
I have.
On the third day of your direct testimony, you testified that this photograph reflected spilled wine in Penthouse 5 on May 21st, 2016, didn't you?
Wow.
Again, I don't know because I'm looking at a partial picture of a floor. So unless you remove the metadata you've covered up, we could then tell. If you
I didn't cover it up, Your Honor.
Could we unredact
Your Honor
them
did.
so we could get context?
That's how it's in evidence.
Wow, she's telling the judge to
Well, the
unredacted.
metadata next to it is so that
Ms.
to
Hurd,
avoid the
Ms.
search
Hurd,
review.
there is no question
Jury.
pending, and I would appreciate it if you wouldn't be making argument to the jury.
Sorry, I
It's
thought you had
inappropriate.
asked me about it.
No, I didn't ask you about anything.
Nice. Got her, slapped her.
Let's look at your direct testimony from the third day.
Unbelievable.
Yes, ma'am.
Unbelievable. Wow. Ask the judge to unredacted. Wow. That's some pair of balls.
Thank you.
And her side submitted those photos.
Let's turn to page
As a reminder, you're the
4750
defendant.
in day 17 transcript.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
4750.
Unbelievable. Why did they put her
Specifically
on the
line 16. Do you see where Ms. Bredehoff asked you to describe for the jury what took place on May 21st, 2016?
I see that.
And do you see that your testimony is reflected about May 21, 2015?
Yes.
That follows? Okay.
Yes.
Now let's turn to page 4804. At line 14. 4804. starting at line 14?
Yes.
Through 4805, line 4.
Going to what line?
Line 4 at 4805.
That's just playing games.
Do you see that you're testifying that defendant's exhibit 725, which is reflected on the right side, reflects spilled wine on the floor in penthouse 5?
That's correct.
Okay. And defendant's exhibit 512 and 725 seem to be different versions of the same picture, don't they?
That's correct.
Okay. So which is it? Which one was taken on December 15th, 2015, or May 21st, 2016?
Got her. And she wants the metadata. That's why that was important. They wouldn't turn over that
If you
information.
remove the redacted metadata, you can find out.
Wow!
It's right there.
Or if you're telling the truth, you would know.
Recognize a portion of of
You're
spilled
telling the
wine
truth,
on a
you would
floor, and I'm
know.
supposed to know off the top of my head when you've
No.
lived through 5 years of this stuff? I don't think so. That's not how that works.
Wow!
Thank you, Tom. Ms. Hurd, at the beginning of your cross-examination
Your
last
Honor, may
week,
we approach?
Yes.
Wow! Busted. That's the moment. That's the, the truth moment with Tom Cruise. She got it. Camille did it. That was it. That was it. She's so arrogant like that. I ordered the code red. She just told her. Didn't even care. The metadata. See, they were hiding they wouldn't turn over her. There was an issue. There was a motion that was put against them, and there was a sanction put against them because they wouldn't turn over all the devices with the pictures, because if they would have turned that over, they would have been able to, Johnny Depp's guy, Newen, whatever, the guy, I have the video, he was up there, but he testified about it, that you needed the devices to show that the pictures were all changed, and they wouldn't let him have it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen in the gallery, I would ask that there be no words or no phrases, no words, no sounds at all coming from you. If I hear one more sound, I will clear the gallery and we will continue this testimony without anybody in the courtroom. Understood? Good. All right, next question.
Ms. Hurd, at the beginning of
That
your
wasn't me, that was somebody
cross-examination
from the
last
gallery.
week, I showed you an audio where you told Mr. Depp to tell the jury, tell the judge, tell the world that he is a victim of domestic abuse. Do you remember that?
That's correct.
And you testified you found it hard to believe that
Yeah,
Mr. Depp
arrogant
would tell the
she was. Look
world
at her
that
face.
he's a victim of domestic abuse. Didn't you?
Wow.
I said I find it hard to believe that he would do that, knowing that he himself had beat me up for 5 years.
But he has told the world that he's your victim of domestic abuse, hasn't he?
Well, he started to say that only recently. He didn't make that claim up until very recently. So when we signed our divorce agreement and we signed a statement saying that neither party had ever said false claims for financial gain, it was relevant and important to me because I was the only one making the accusations. I was the only one making those claims. He wasn't doing that at the time.
Wow.
And he signed his name to it.
You didn't expect as many people to show up and testify on his behalf that did you?
Incorrect.
When you told this jury under oath that you never assaulted, actually, strike that, sorry, Your Honor. When you told this jury under oath that you punched Mr. Depp because you thought of Mr. Depp pushing Kate Moss down the stairs, you didn't expect Ms. Moss to agree to testify that never happened, did you?
Him. He's telling me he's coming back. You lying old hag.
This is what she made it seem. She exaggerated, right? She exaggerated the experience that Kate Moss when he did the Kate Moss.
Not outside. I can move. I'm sick.
Incorrect. I know how many people will come out of the woodwork to be in support of Johnny.
So
It
you
is
think
clear
Ms.
by this
Moss
courtroom
needs
how
to
many
come
people
out
will
of
do
the
that.
woodwork to testify for
Wow.
Mr. Depp?
Everybody who was around in the 90s and the early aughts knew that rumor. I had heard that rumor from multiple people. Of course, that's what flashed through my head when my violent husband not only swung for me, but all of a sudden swung for my sister. Of course I thought of that. I did not expect her to show up or not expect her to show up. It didn't matter. It doesn't change what I believed at the time when we were on the stairs and I thought he was going to kill my sister by pushing her down the stairs.
You told this jury under oath that Mr. Depp was aggressive and trashed a trailer in Hicksville. You didn't expect the manager of the Hicksville property, Morgan Knight, to come forward and testify that that was untrue, did you?
Incorrect. I've already been through trials with this man. I know how many people will come out in support of him.
When you told this jury under oath that you had no idea that the paparazzi would be at the courthouse on May 27th, 2016, you didn't expect a TMZ employee to show up to testify that TMZ had been alerted that you would be at the courthouse and knew exactly which side of your face to take a picture of, did you?
Wow.
I know how many people will come out and say whatever for him. That's his power. That's why I wrote the op-ed.
Oh, that's not right.
I was speaking to that phenomenon.
She just
How many
admitted
people
she
will
wrote
come
the
out
whole
in support
op-ed.
of him and will fall to his power. He is a very powerful man, and people love currying favor with powerful men.
Currying
and I know
favor
that
and
firsthand.
receiving jail time for committing
She admitted
perjury.
it. The code red.
Excuse me. I didn't hear your question.
You didn't
Excuse
hear my
me.
question?
Ms. Vasquez, if you do mind,
Curry-
please just repeat the question. I didn't hear you.
Curry favor and commit perjury in this courtroom?
I have
For
seen
a
people
powerful
do this.
man?
I have seen people do this time and time again. That's why I wrote the op-ed.
You didn't expect Ben King, the house manager in Australia, to show up from England. He flew from England to testify that Mr. Depp's fingertip was found exactly where he said it would be. Did you?
I have never heard Johnny testify to knowing where his finger was, or really, frankly, making a claim that he knew where it was when it was found. I've never heard Johnny claim that.
You didn't expect Keenan Wyatt.
Johnny has never
Ms.
actually
Heard.
said that.
Ms. Heard.
And
I think the
Ben
jury
King,
can.
yes.
Ms. Heard, there's no question pending. You didn't expect Keenan Wyatt, Mr. Depp's longtime sound technician, to show up and testify that Mr. Depp is not being fed lines through his earpieces, but instead music, did you?
Not that it matters much, but of course I did. I know how his employees treat him.
So you
I know how
probably-
his team treats him. Of course I expected that.
Okay, so you probably expected Isaac Baruch
everybody's
to
lying
come and
for me.
testify for Mr. Depp, right?
I'm not sure I thought about that.
Yeah, but you didn't expect Mr. Baruch to weep.
Wow.
To weep for Mr. Depp after what you've put him through and so many others with your lies.
I
did you?
relate to Isaac because he and I are
There's
the
no
only
further
ones who
questions, Your
cried
Honor.
on this stand.
Nothing further.
All right. Redirect.
You got knocked the fuck out!
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Heard, if Mr. Baruch felt misled, who misled him?
Johnny, and I don't blame him. I don't blame him for crying. This is horrible.
Ms.
can't
Vasquez has
cry.
suggested that you
He's a
faked
better actor than
bruises
you.
on your face. Is that true?
Absolutely not. I didn't need to.
Did you ever fake an injury caused by Mr. Depp?
No.
Is any of the evidence of your injuries that has been put to the jury in this trial fake?
No, absolutely not.
It's all fake.
And to the extent that there may be some confusion over when a picture of spilled wine was taken, why might that be?
Objection.
Because there's so
Lack
many-
of foundation.
Overruled.
Because there's so many incidents of violence. There's so many pictures. There's so much evidence. Most people don't have this kind of evidence for years.
Yeah, crap.
5
You got 'em
years.
sleeping, you got-
And when I was saying that to Johnny on the phone in that recording, I
Exactly.
was saying for years this has been going on. And I have pictures. We have texts. We have everything. Normally you don't get this amount of evidence. That's what I was pointing out to Johnny. It would be crazy to try to challenge this in this way. It's crazy. It's easy to not know the context of
Oh, she didn't
a
expect
picture of
him to go
spilled
after her.
wine because there are so many more important details, pictures, and also so much I didn't photograph, so much I didn't have the presence. of
Objection,
mind to document.
non-responsive.
All right, I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Did Mr. Depp abuse you physically?
Yes.
Verbally?
Yes.
Emotionally?
Yes.
Psychologically?
Yes.
How did the threats that Mr. Depp made against you individually years ago resemble what you've endured as a result of the Depp-Waldman statements?
Beyond the scope of cross, Your Honor.
Overruled.
Johnny promised me he would ruin me, that he'd ruin my career, he'd take my life from me. Death was the only way out. And if I got out, this is what he'd do to me. He'd make me think of him every single day. He promised me global humiliation. You saw those texts. What he couldn't do, the work of one individual, meaning Johnny, when he was inviting a disgruntled employee over for a spot of purple to fix my flabby ass up, that revenge that he sought back then was just what he could do as an individual, calling the studio to get me fired, trying to block him.
Objection, Your Honor. Lack of foundation, speculation, hearsay, non-responsive.
I'll sustain it as a non-responsive.
She threw out every single thing.
Ms. Heard, how did those things that you just testified to that Mr. Depp did, how did those resemble what happened to you after the Depp-Waldman counterclaim statements were made?
Those are
Objection, Your Honor. Lack of foundation.
Ooh, she got mad at Camille. Look at that face.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Those are just an echo of what I'm living through today. It's like what I'm living in right now. What you see in this courtroom is an echo. This courtroom and the other courtroom he dragged me into to do the same thing again. That's just an echo of the violence and the abuse that I suffered within our relationship. The campaigns to have me fired, the blocking me to try to ruin my career, the threats he's made to humiliate me globally are being lived out in real time in front of you, ladies and gentlemen, for the past 6 weeks and for the whole world since our camera's here.
Sorry, my
No
phone
further
call.
questions. Thank you so much, Amber.
All right, Ms. Heard, you can have a seat next to your attorneys.
Lots of money. Play. Yeah. Smack it up, flip it, rub it down. Oh.
That's it, folks. So I think it was a bad thing to put her on the stand right at this point. And I think Camille did a great job, and she hit her good and got all the info she needed. And we're going to see where it goes the next couple of days. Closing arguments are today. And then next couple of days, we'll see what they think. I think he's going to win. You know, money-wise, I don't know what they're going to do with the money, but I think he's going to win. I think he's already won. I think she's done. And, you'll see what you guys think.